Had to look into some social media something or other recently. Apparently, there were a bunch of posts that always go up at a set time of night involving a bunch of students dancing. I've asked Erica a couple of times before to explain the whole social networking thing to me, but it's all way over my head. Anyway, the kids in these posts were showing up online without any heads, knew that shit was bad for society, and there's your proof. So KK is not someone who's techno savvy, basically, and he doesn't like the whole idea of social media and the like. Ed and Rinko analyzed the pics and figured out that all the kids were from a school in Shibuya. I went to take a look around, and sure enough, I found a bunch of those things. Visitors wearing student uniforms and dancing around like kids. Turns out they weren't the cause of it all. It was actually some specter with an axe to grind about the whole being dead thing. So these visitors have actually been around before this whole event. This isn't some kind of opening of some gateway that allows the visitors to come in. It seems like there are some breaks in between the spirit realm and the real world that allow spirits to come into the real world time after time. The second the specter caught sight of me, the dancing visitors were on my ass. One or two I could have handled no problem, but this was a whole bunch of them, all spitting and screaming and throwing rulers and shit at me. Huge hassle. Once I dealt with them, I went after the specter. When I cornered it, I realized it was spouting a bunch of social media nonsense. Stuff about no followers and not having any mentions or DMs. Wow, sounds like a specter that's schizophrenic or like exhibiting some kind of repetitive behavior, similar to Leslie, for instance. Erica had been listening in, and she told me to try following the spirit's account. She walked me through the process, and it ended up working. After I followed it, the spirit calmed down and let me exorcise it. No idea why a spirit would care about fake internet fame when it was already dead. Maybe all those abandoned accounts are kind of like lingering spirits themselves. Interesting idea right there, because there are definitely those people out there that really feel like their social media is like a part of their soul, basically. The work they actually put into that social media, it allows them, in a sense, to gain some kind of understanding of reality and therefore enlighten their spirituality. Almost like with me, for instance, where I would honestly say that a huge portion of my soul goes into my games. I've learned so much about games that just completely shapes my whole perspective on reality and on the negatives of society and on the whole idea of school, of work, lots of philosophical debates. Like, it's opened me up to a lot of possibilities, and that's one of the greatest things about my games. And it's really why I would consider games to be such a huge part of my life, not for some escape to reality like some loser. It's for actually shaping my perceptions in a way that's beneficial. I feel like I've learned a lot more from my games than I have from school, for instance. Like, everything I'm learning about Japan right here, everything I'm learning about its history, like, I feel like there is so much to dissect with this history than I would have gotten from my history class, for instance. Sumoto, a Japanese city on Awaji Island located in the Seto Inland Sea. To the southeast of Tokyo, the city is blessed with a mild climate all year round. A black hole is a super-dense celestial object which absorbs all matter that enters. Black holes, which are especially large, are referred to as supermassive black holes. Wow, not the most creative name right there. A black hole discovered in the Coma supercluster is said to have 21 billion times the mass of Earth's sun. You know, you forgot to mention stuff about the idea that black holes lead to gravitational lensing. They bend the space around them. And also, because of the amount of mass contained within black holes and the amount of gravity that they elicit, they can alter our perception of time. Like, if you watched Interstellar and they talked about the whole idea of Gargantua and how it seems like time ends up being perceived by others. Like when the main character was on that water planet and he spent minutes on that planet, but years had actually passed on Earth. That's what I mean when I say the gravity has a role to play in how time is actually perceived by a lot of people. Almost begs the question if astronauts are on the moon, for instance, and they seem to be aging slower than us, for instance, does that mean that gravity has some kind of impact on our biological processes? I mean, why have we never considered that? I mean, it's probably once again a matter of perception, the way our eyes perceive it. It's a trick of the mind, basically, nothing related to biological processes. But obviously, in the case of Interstellar, obviously, in the case of anyone that is near the moon or not within the Earth's mass or not within the Earth's gravitational field, something is allowing their biological processes to be slowed at a rate that allows you to live longer than other people on Earth, for instance, if you're somewhere else entirely. A straw doll. A doll made of bundled straw meant to resemble a human. They are sometimes used for occult purposes. For example, some believe that you can curse a person by putting a strand of their hair into one of the dolls and driving a long nail through it. Must take an incredible amount of precision. I mean, are they saying driving a long nail through the actual doll or driving a long nail through the strand of hair? Because that would have to be incredibly precise. Or it would have to be a big nail for all I know. Sagittarius. The celestial body that resides at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Scientists believe it to be a supermassive black hole. Why are they talking about Sagittarius in this part? Is it because of that black hole mission I did? I should actually go to the skills menu and upgrade some stuff. I'm gonna upgrade the, let me see here. I'm gonna upgrade the glide. I don't want to be too reliant upon the upgrades at the moment. Oh, that's the consumable number. That's what that number is. Okay, so the stun talismans are in the weapon wheel. So let me swap back to this. Head for the Kagari observation deck. Up there? Oh boy. Oh, nice. I don't have to use phone boots, I can use this. Nice of Ed to think 2 steps ahead. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to use the Tengu. A large commercial building filled with trendy department stores, boutique shops, and food vendors. Shops congregate here with the desire to stand at the heart of contemporary culture in Shibuya. This makes it not only a major shopping destination, but also a prominent tourist landmark and date spot.
昔を知らないから何とも言えないよ。
ガキとは話が合わねえから困るよ。
よし、お食べ。慌てずに食べな。
You're welcome. Wait, why is she coming over here? Now she heard me? Oh shit! Okay, you can just simply tap R1 to swap. You don't have to hold it. Oh, she's revitalizing the enemy. There we go. Okay, there's a Tengu right over there. Oh no.
おい、レイが連れて行かれるぞ。
助けなきゃ。
Damn it!
レイ、敵が増えたぞ。
Okay, fire is very useful if I need to knock down enemies.
いい手際だ。絵に負えない
See
や
that?
つだな。
I got out of the combat status and it healed me. Beautiful design. They want you to appreciate the world. They don't want you to sit around with blood on your screen, with flashing screens. Like, if only Nier Automata realized that, but no. On Nier Automata, because the developers were so fucking stupid, they made it where you didn't simply regenerate your life if you were at low health and you escaped combat. No. For a game that is meant to be more about its appearances, more so than its actual gameplay, why would they make it where they want the screen to flash, they want to mess up the audio when you're low on health? And you don't have any consumables to your advantage right now, or you're trying to save up on consumables for later encounters. Like, how dense do you have to be to make that kind of mistake? And no, Under the Mayo says it's a bad thing that Ghostwire Tokyo does this. Or games in general just do this kind of thing. When that guy doesn't even know how to play games. He doesn't know how to enjoy games, it seems. I wonder what the tallest structure in Shibuya is, and maybe we'll get the chance to climb it. This looks really nice at nighttime. Of course, if the city was popular. You know, that's another thing as well. How is it that this place still has power? How does most of Shibuya have power? If everyone is gone. Who cares? The developers wanted you the chance to actually experience Tokyo with the lights on. I just love that we get the chance to go this high up. For their third game, they're really upping the ante on the exploration. So if you tap R1 when you have Ethereal Weaving, you will only swap to Ethereal Weaving powers. With the weapon wheel, you'll need to do this. It seems tapping R1 in general just pulls up your Ethereal Weaving. Oh, there's no cars on the overpass. There's only a couple. Oh, they're enemies. Oh, and there are wanderers. I'll have to snipe these enemies with the bow. Yeah, if that umbrella is getting in the way. Damn it. These wanderers are proving to be a pain in the ass. Come on. That's one. That's two. Damn it! Bad aim.
排除するのみだ。続けろ。
You notice how he's using the term kill? You technically can't kill spirits. You're just sending them to the afterlife. But can't they just come back if they choose to visit? I mean, they're called visitors for a reason. Must mean they can come back to the real world as many times as they want. I've never really understood that with spirits. It's the same with Ghost Rider. In Ghost Rider in the Marvel comics, he does kill the villains, but does that mean they just go back to hell? And therefore they're still active, so they can come back to the real world when they want to? Or are they put out of commission? I've never understood that. Damn it. I got a trophy, Soul Breaker. Must be for doing the core grab multiple times. It seems certain visitors are quite the psychopaths, just wanting to witness what they've done and just stay there, admiring their handiwork. How high up are we going? This is way more interesting than Dying Light 2, in all honesty. And considering that this is the middle of the game, for an event that is happening in the middle of the game, it's a lot more satisfying than Dying Light 2. Why would you climb the tallest structure in Dying Light 2 in like the middle portion of the game, and then you never do that in the ending of the game? In Dying Light 1, you climb the tallest structure in all of the game for a final sequence with Rice. But no, they wanted to scrap that in favor of a shit boss fight with Waltz, a very underwhelming area that feels reskinned from Dying Light the following.
そこに何かあるぞ。
So unimaginative. But this is just so interesting for a middle of the game scenario. Gust beads. Prayer beads. The prayer beads tab of the inventory menu has been unlocked. First, let's try equipping the set of prayer beads you just found. So, change category. Wind elemental attack power up 20%. So it looks like this game has the whole system of wearing certain things will just boost certain elements to your fundamental abilities.
それでいい。なかなか似合うじゃねえか。
Not too sure if I'm a big fan of that mechanic for this game. Like, most of the time when developers have such mechanics, their combat scenarios and boss fights falter greatly because it takes such a long time to deal with the enemies. It takes a long time to deal with bosses because it's all dependent upon the gamey designs like that. Magically wearing a shoe, for instance, just makes you deal 200% more damage. Just that kind of stupid, comical, gamey system. And because it's integrated into the game, it influences the developer's mindset, and so most likely it will lead to worser encounters in the future of the game. And I hope that is not going to be the case. There's a reason why I don't like open world games, and there's stuff like that. Use the tourist binoculars to search the area. But again, I'm hoping that Ghostwire Tokyo is a great open world game. Use the tourist binoculars to search the area.
あいつ、
さっき見失ったやつだ。
地下に降りていったな。
そこに奴らの拠点があるのかも。
何回も逃がしてたまるかよ。おうぞ。
Now, before I jump down, I'm gonna explore this a bit. Nice. Can I actually climb this? It's crazy the amount of things they let you grab onto when you mantle. Oh. Oh shit! Nice. Talk about a leap of faith. What the hell was that? You said this before.
よしお食べ慌てずに食べ
お前よく触れるな。
そんなすごいことじゃないと思うけど
Oh, nice humility. I love that in a person of this generation. So when do you ever hear someone who expresses that level of humility and being that humble? Alright, best I don't engage in any combat right now. They will kill me with where I am right now. Oh shit. What the hell? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh no. Accretion. Oh no. You. Oh, you're kidding me! Oh! I've got to get rid of these enemies using the fire. God damn it! The whole idea of hitting objects with the strike attack, I get what they're trying to go for, but you end up clipping on them so much.
またここに来ちゃったな
Oh, we...
動揺はない。行くぞ。
Okay, so... what happened? Was that just an optional thing? So death had no consequence just then? Like, what was I gonna do? Just take away some XP? But because this is Tatari difficulty, I don't have any XP? I'm not too sure what the whole point of that was.
This 向こうか
Wow, look at this place. What is this? This subway station looks incredible. Nether green tea. Daily Ninja. Shibuke. Why can't I interact with this vending machine? Oh shit! Wow, look at that! These enemies are very slow to turn. You can use that to your advantage. But again, this game is really doing a great job at subverting your expectations. You assume this is an area where there aren't any enemies. You go a long way before you see any enemies. And then one turns up while you're just busy sprinting and it attacks you. That's very clever enemy placement right there. Not like enemies just being dotted all over the map. Oh wow, look at the different colors of the pillars. The fact that they even thought about making these columns here different colors as you move on. Gotta love that color palette. And oh shit. I need to get out of here. Once or twice a week?
それも十分異常だよ
So there should be a way to isolate one enemy from the group. Because when an enemy detects you, he does alert the other enemies, but there might be a way to bypass that. Yeah, I told it I'm just going to be very reliant upon guerrilla tactics, because I do not have the tools necessary to deal with these enemies. And the Spirit Vision was messing up just then. It would not detect this guy. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this marionette. Oh, okay. So in the event that you cannot do a quick purge because there's geometry in your way, he does that animation. That is cool. Oh, come on! God tier peripheral vision. But let me just finish this guy off with fire. And then we'll grab him. There we go. So far, fire is the one that guarantees knockdowns, and it can be useful if you have the ability to finish off enemies on the ground with the quick purge. But water, I'm just not finding a lot of utility for. It feels weak compared to wind. And for an ability that is meant to be, like the shotgun equivalent, I'm disappointed. I was expecting a little bit more with water, but it's just very weak. It could be just weak against those specific enemies, but, you know, it should still be damaging to them either way. I don't need that. Like I said, I don't want to be too reliant upon the consumables, because if I am being too reliant, that means most likely the game is poorly designed. It's like with Yakuza. Yakuza, because it was so poorly designed, and they didn't have any brains when designing the combat scenarios, they just thought, well, the player's most likely going to have a whole bunch of healing items on them, so we'll design the combat encounters around that, where you have to spend money on a bunch of stupid healing items just to get the sections done. Let's hope this game is not a repeat of Yakuza.
また痕跡が消えた。
このまま進むぞ。何かあるはずだ。
Let's see what the charge attack is like with this one.
その調子だ。
God damn it. I accidentally swapped to wind. He puts his hand away sometimes. I don't like that. There we go. That's what I was expecting. Shit. You know, I never did test if there was friendly fire for the enemies on this game. I mean, if Evil Within and Evil Within 2 didn't have friendly fire for the enemies, aside from the gunners in Evil Within 1 and the suicide bombers from Evil Within 2, then most likely it's not going to be a thing here, because developers never ever try to embrace the whole concept of enemies attacking each other. That was close. Okay, so this game is not dependent upon levels when stealth killing enemies. It's just dependent upon the enemy type you're dealing with. Just like Evil Within 2. And Evil Within 1. Awesome. Good design. Common sense. Although really, like, in the case of the Hysteric, for instance, from Evil Within 2, the Hysteric, Sebastian does the same animation for actually, stabbing them in the head the first time. But if all it takes is just a couple of stabs to the head of the Hysteric, why doesn't Sebastian just do the normal stealth kill animation where he stabs the head of the Hunted twice, and he just does that on the hysteric. That's the one time where the whole idea of a specific enemy type requiring multiple sneak attack animations doesn't make any sense. But like with the... Oh shit. I'm just gonna use the bow on these guys. Oh, I don't have any arrows. Shit. But these enemies are vulnerable to fire. What the hell? At least the misery children that have the white outfit on, they die instantly from fire. These black ones don't. The Turbo Student. A report written by KK regarding a mysterious student running along a highway. I caught wind of a story about a school student running along a highway, although probably better to say he wasn't running along the highway so much as tailing cars and motorcycles, trying to get them to crash and burn. Definitely smelled like a visitor situation to me. I filled Ed in, and he was thrilled. He said it was similar to another urban legend about a so-called Turbo Grandma. Of course, by said, I mean he had made a recording that he played back for me when I brought it up. No goddamn clue when he did it or how the hell he knew to do it, but whatever. Anyway, we knew that figuring out anything about this Turbo Student would mean hitting the same speed as him, which had Rinko on board. She got Ed and Dale to put together a souped-up motorcycle for the task. This hog had a beast of an engine on it, and some kind of energy-emitting device that could keep monsters from getting too close to boot. The theory was it would help avoid her ending up a smear on the pavement, with any luck. Rinko ended up driving while I took the back seat. Sure enough, we were speeding along the highway in the dead of night when the Turbo Student showed up, running like a bat out of hell. Whatever it was, it approached us fast, but I was able to take it down, though not without our bike getting trashed. Neither of us got hurt, but I guess putting such a powerful engine on the bike was too much for it. Rinko and Ed still want to fix it up and even upgrade it so it can safely ride through fog. Oh. But that's probably just normal fog, not spirit fog. For those two, shit, like, that is hardly work at all, more like playtime. They look like kids in a candy store when they're tinkering. Let's see what skills I can upgrade. I never did take a good look at these. So this is for fire rate. This is for number of shots fired. Fire 2 shots at a time with water weaving. Increase the width of charged water weaving. Enables fire weaving attacks to pierce through one enemy. Increase the explosion radius for charged fire weaving attacks. Yeah, not the most important upgrades to get. Yeah, I don't like the upgrades on this game. A lot of them just feel like they're tailored to enhancing your fundamentals. And not really for damage, which is good. I like the fact that they aren't focusing on damage. They're focusing on other things. This is just in general for the charge attack. But I think they only designed the upgrades this way so that you didn't have to force yourself in order to get them. It's just really stupid that they would lock certain abilities like the Quick Purge behind a skill. Like, they have to hide it behind the skill tree system just so players could actually slot into it because, of course, finishing off enemies while they're on the ground is an important basic technique in many games. That's just really dumb that it would do that. Uh-oh. Nice. You know, now that I think about it, purchasing that whole ability to grab the core directly, like when you're just close to them, it's not that useful of an ability. Because I haven't found the need for it.
強くなったら新しい技を覚えるんだ。今ならできるはずだ。
He's probably saying that quote because of the skill points I have. But I'm not learning new moves, I'm just enhancing the moves I already have, so why would he say that kind of quote? That's not learning a new move, that's enhancing your fundamentals. Watch that third rail. If that's even a mechanic in this part.
なんだこりゃ。
Chochin Obaki Netsuke. Do tongues have something to say about our health? Part of a set of 15 yokai Netsuke, collect them all. Do tongues have something to say about our health? While likely nothing more than idle tongue wagging, it's said that a discolored tongue could be a sign that you're lit. Sounds like superstition. Or for all we know, there could be some kind of basis behind it.
地下鉄の中を歩いたのは初めてだよ。
俺は仕事で何度かあるぜ。
国の番犬ってやつか。
そっちじゃないな。化け物退治の方だよ。
Well, not really monsters or spirits.
妙なものはあるな。
Inugami mummy, the mummified remains of a dog used to create an inugami, a type of dog spirit. The gruesome ritual involves burying a dog alive and then killing it. The resulting spirit will invoke deadly curses on its master's foes. And why would that curse the master's foes? I mean, the master is literally burying the dog alive and then killing it. That right there is torture. It's something that only a master who hates his dog would actually do. But why would the curse focus on the foes, not the actual master? And chase off evil from the house it protects. Minamoto no Yorimasa, a general in the Heian period, never heard of that period, 794 to 1185, slayed a creature called a Nue in Kyoto and cast its dismembered body into a river. When those parts washed up in Shikoku, they each became Inugami and gave rise to the legend. Huh. But it wasn't buried alive. I'm confused. It said he slayed the creature. So he didn't actually bury the dog at first. He just simply slayed it. That's a little confusing.
歓迎されてんだぞお前。
もう少しおとなしい歓迎がありがたいよ。
まだまだいそうだな。
Huh. Looks like that's a consumable over there. Yes, green tea. A laptop. File 178. A recording left behind by a certain scientist discussing his daughter? I got a trophy, Echoes of the Past.
今朝の話、娘がホットケーキを焼いてくれた。娘はパンケーキと言って譲らなかったが、 世間ではその呼び名が流行っているらしい。同僚に確認したが知らないと言っていた。彼女に聞いたのが間違いだったかも。味はとても美味しかったが、最近の製品はよくできていると言ったのがまずかった。娘に加熱方法や時間について長々と説教されてしまった。料理は科学なんだそうだ。科学者の端くれとして肝に銘じておこう。同時に娘の言葉は科学者としてとても嬉しかった。
Huh. It's a little odd to make an audio entry about that, especially when you're a scientist. What the? Oh, that went right through the geometry. What's the whole significance of the umbrella? I mean, we've seen the rainwalkers use umbrellas many times, but that was when they were in the workplace, and they experienced a lot of stresses and the like. And what is... Is there a reason why I would want to go down there, aside from just getting all that ether? There's spirits here. I like how you don't have to have the indicator on screen to absorb spirits. It still continues the animation even when you turn the camera away. But yeah, we're really exploring a lot, and it still feels like a linear game. I think that's the most impressive thing so far.
こんなところがあったんだ。
誰も気づかなかったのか。
ああ、この東京で誰にも知られず地下でうごめいていたんだ。化け物そのものだ。
This looks significant. But I just find it very interesting how, despite the fact this is an open world game, I feel like I've been playing a linear game. And because it feels like a linear game, having this massive environment just makes it feel special. Looks like I'm gonna have to go down. I feel like this leads to something that you're supposed to do as part of a key task. There's probably a door I have to unlock or something, if I get over to that objective marker. The amount of areas you're going to in this game is amazing. You know, in these kind of city games, I never expect to go to this kind of location, especially, like, this far underground. Interesting, I didn't take fall damage just then. This feels like a boss fight coming up. It looks like a boss arena. Oh, this is not good in the slightest. I'm nervous.